This is the painting we're going to do today, and it's jelly bean houses. And this is simple, and I'm going to show you some easy tips and tricks to get those flowers and those windows, little hills behind, some water. So let's get started. I'm just using my primary colors of red, yellow, and blue, and I have some white and burnt umber, but you can use black with that if you want. So all you really need for this painting is a flat brush, synthetic, about a size 12. A small bristle brush so we can punch on some flowers there, some trees, the little tree there. See how it's opened? And a small flat chiseled edge brush. Try to do the windows with that. Now I might end up using another method, but I'm going to try it with this flat chiseled edge brush. So let's get our sky started. Alright, so we're going to do our sky here, and even though we're doing a sky here, we're going to do the whole background, and then we're going to put our houses, but we need our little tree and things like that. So, but let's just get a blue background on there. See, so for the sky I'm just going to use some white, a bit of blue, a little bit of burnt umber, just to grey it up a little bit. You can use a little bit of black if you like, just get kind of a greyish blue. Alright, maybe even a little bit of red. I don't know, just something to, there we go, that's nice, isn't it? Now it's too much in there, so don't do what I did. Right, I keep adding too much red because red is so dominant. You don't even realize it till you start adding it, so very, very little. If you get too much, just do what I did, just move away from it, okay? So let's just start off with this much first. Nice light blue sky with a little bit of a greyish look to it. So start your sky with your blue. It's a light blue with a little hint of a greyish tone to it, or a little bit of purple. It's up to you. But I'm just going to make a nice blue, light blue sky with those colors that we mixed together. And get that whole, we're going to do the whole thing here. And as we go down closer to the horizon line, we will lighten it up a bit more, okay? So just keep going back and forth with your synthetic brush, okay? Just back and forth. Let's get the top done first. Sometimes I run off, and see how I ran off into the distance there. So you could do that too if you want, as long as you get it all together. As long as you make it nice and soft and smooth, okay? So you don't want your lines all over the place, right? So just go back and forth and back and forth. There we go. There we go. They can be short strokes or long strokes. Anything, and as while it's wet, just go back and forth over those strokes again, just so you can soften them up, okay? So keep it going. There we go. Just add a little bit. I'm adding a little tiny bit of color, but I'm not worried about it because the houses are going to be going up over most of that. Just want to make sure that the top part is nice, all right, and the sides, because you're going to see the sky on the sides here too. Okay. Now you can leave out the part where you're going to put your houses, but I just like to have. Now I add a little bit too much blue there. That's no big deal. There we go. Just add more white. I just like to do it this way. You can do it whatever way you want. You can draw on your houses first if you want, all right, and then you can do your sky around it. But then you might get into the houses. It might get a little complicated, or it might just get a little frustrating. So just do your background sky first. It's the easiest way out. I always try to make easy, breezy tips for you. It's a bit light down here, so I'm adding more white just to keep it brighter down here. Because the sky usually gets lighter as it hits the horizon, doesn't it? Alright. Good. Alright, so you can add more sky to the top if you like. There we go. So there we go. You can add a little more color if you like, whatever you want to do. I'm just showing you different ways you can make your sky, which is nice like that. To add more white if you got too much of one color that you don't want. Alright, so just blue and white with a little bit of red. I'm just adding a little bit of color up here because I kind of like the sky to have a little bit more extra colors in it. You look at the sky sometimes and it's all kinds of colors, the purples and pinks. Nice, alright. That's better. Good. Get some more white over here with that color. When you add white to your brush, it makes your paint more slippery and it'll move around more, okay? So we're not going to use magic white today because I want it to dry fast because I want to get those houses on there for you. So that's a nice, I mean you can barely see it because there's not much color there, but that's the way it'll be nice. That's the way I like it. And like I said, if you want a darker sky, you can certainly add, you know, a darker color to it. Pretty. Alright. Let's do some clouds. I'm just going to use the same brush. I'm going to put the corner of my brush in some paint. Just dipping my brush in the corner of my brush in the paint. Now my brush is dirty, which is good because that's the way I want it. And then I'm just going to make some little puffy clouds. Make a line, alright, like that. Just make a line, and then tap on the top. And you'll get nice little fluffy clouds, see? So make a line first. This will help you, because I know there's times it's a bit hard. Just go line like that first, and then tap on top of that line, and you'll get all these cute little fluffy clouds, see? Alright. Another one over here, wherever you want them, okay? I'm just trying to make sure I leave enough room for the houses. So when you put the house in, you can still see your clouds. If you end up covering up your clouds, you can always put some back in. So just tap in the corner of your brush and then tap on that line that you made. If you go under the line, that's fine. Clouds are all over the place. They don't have to have a straight line. But it's always good to get started that way, see? And then you can tap on your top. Tap, 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 tap. Alright. Good. So you come out a bit more just to make it look like a cloud that's moving around the sky. Good. You can have as many of those as you want. So you can just take your brush, put on a line, and then tap on the top. See? I like to bring it out a little bit on the edges here just to make it look like it's floating around the sky. Now when they dry, we can add more tops to those. So I'm going to leave that because I want to get the houses up, over, and down. Alright, so I want to make sure the house. I want to leave some room on the sides here for a little tree. I want to put a couple of little, I want to add a little bit of water, I think, down here. Maybe, I don't know. There's a couple of hills back here, you know, in the background. So the houses are in front of probably a little ocean and some cliffs. I don't know. Just trying to see now. I'm trying to make up my mind. So I'm just going to take some of my burnt umber. I'm using the same brush again. My burnt umber. And some yellow. And some white. I lightened up a little bit. And then, so lighten it up to about, there we go, add more white and get it to that color, okay? I think that might be okay. And our houses are going to go about here. So about here. So we'll add a straight line, like that. And then we will add a hump. And we will add a little shadow. We will add some color on the inside, and then we'll put some more color on it in a little while. Straighten it up a little bit there. Leave that there like that. Maybe there's another one on the other side. Come over. Make sure you leave lots of room. Make a hump. Fill it in. Move it out a little bit if you like, just to give more shape. Fill it in a bit more. Okay, that's better. That's better. And now maybe there is some water down here. You know, let's just use our imagination. So clean off your brush because it's got brown on it. And then I'm just going to add some blue on the tip of my brush and a little bit of white on the tip of my brush. More blue on one side and white on the other. And with the brown side down, with the blue side down, we're just going to add some streaks of water. So we'll pretend we had a little ocean back here. So we just need a straight line going over. And then we will add our, all right, add a little more white. You got lots of blue. We don't need much more blue. All right. See, the white will give you a little bit of wavy look to your, right, because the paint is still wet, see? So I've been using the same brush for everything. So I'm going to use some of my burnt umber, just a little bit on the corner there, just so that I can decide where I want some shadows. Let's see. I'm not sure. I'm going to start at the top. And I'm going to drag a little bit at the top. And then I'm just guessing now. Just kind of experimenting the way I want it. Not really sure. I know for sure I want dark underneath here, but I like to lighten it up on top more. So I'm going to start at the bottom this time. I know, I just like to experiment, you know, see what works best. Okay, that works better. If you work on the bottom, leave shadow on the bottom and leave the top nice and bright like that, that works better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of white on my corner of my brush to get some of this light back. So start at the bottom and then leave your bottom nice and dark, and then your top with some highlights. That gives it a better look to it then. Your heels, that would be nice. You can use black. Well, I'd rather use burnt umber because it's a nice color. Just putting little crevices in here. Just little shadow parts, that's all. There we go. A few little crevices in here. Gives them more of a realistic look. Right. Just pretend you're making branches on a tree. Yeah, lots of techniques. You can use them in different places. There we go. That's that much done. Now let's take this off. And we will now add, let's see. Well, maybe now we will put this back on. Make it kind of like a sidewalk, I guess. And you can use the same brush if you like, or a smaller flat brush. Smaller, as long as you clean your brush off. Okay, I'm just going to use the same one because I got a chiseled edge, so I can go on the chiseled edge. Like if I did it this way, it might be a little too wide. So I'm just going to use my burnt umber. I'm going to use burnt umber on one corner, and let's see, some yellow. Some white. Alright, so I just dipped into my burnt umber on one side, a little bit of yellow here, and a little bit of white. See, I like separating my colors because then you get to separate them on your canvas. Right? See, look, see what happens? Alright, so let's go here. The houses are going to be there, but that's okay. Alright, so I'm just going to put that on there like that. Using my chiseled edge to go up around that bluish color there. If it's still wet and it comes down into that, that's okay. That looks good. Alright, so a bit of burnt umber, a little bit of yellow, and a little bit of white. Opposite sides. I'm going to put the light color down first. Like that, and then the dark will mix in with it. But see how it's all separating? If you've seen that without me showing you what to do, you'd be like, how did you get those colors to separate like that? And that's how you do it. That's how I do it. Okay? So that's kind of nice. Now, I'm going to take that tape off. Now I'm going to kind of make a roadway or something, you know, just maybe a roadway in some way. I'm going to make kind of a grayish color, which is my burnt umber. Some blue. What else? What else can we do? Burnt umber, some blue, and a little bit of red. Just trying to get kind of a grayish, brownish color. That's not bad. I like that. Now see how I didn't totally mix it. I kind of, because that'll mix here. Now that's kind of too blue for me. So let's see. I'm going to go with burnt umber and white. There we go. That's better. I might lighten that up a little bit with some white. See, I don't mind the colors being all over the place. They'll mix up on your canvas. I'm going to add a bit of yellow to that. See what that does. I'm just experimenting now. Look at that. Kind of a greenish color though. I'm trying to get a bit of a grayish color. Nice. So pick up some of your colors. I'm getting more burnt umber. And with lots of paint on your brush, it'll be smooth for you, right? If you have a little bit of paint on your brush, you're going to get like that, okay? It's just going to be hard, like you'll be like, paint won't come off your brush. But if you got lots of paint, like pick up a load of burnt umber and a load of white, like tons of it, right? Because you're doing a large area, and it'll just go so smooth. It blends so nicely. Right, because it's all wet, see? So we'll get up underneath here. It's just a walkway or roadway. It's probably too big. I probably should have made it smaller, but that's okay. Because you can always then, if you want to yourself, maybe you could add a few things there. Maybe a little dog walking down the street, or someone on a bicycle riding past the houses, or something like that. You know, you can do whatever you want with it. You'll have that option. Alright, so let's get that up underneath here. Use your chiseled edge to get that there. I'm running out of paint, so I'll pick up some more paint. Get the chiseled edge up against here. Flip it around because I got more paint on it. So you can use whatever colors you want. You can look up some pictures of sidewalks, and you know, you can have cobblestones here. Whatever you want, okay? It could be whatever you want. Good. Now I'm going to go full dark. Some blue and burnt umber. And my chiseled edge, make sure it's chiseled, and I'm just going to put a shadow underneath that sidewalk there, the little walkway or whatever it is, on my chiseled edge. If you have a problem keeping a straight line, you can use tape after it dries. So then you can just take your brush then and smooth it so that that line blends in with the rest of the sidewalk, but yet you still got your shadow underneath there. All right, there we go. Kind of separates it from the here, right? So now when that dries, while we're waiting for it to dry, why don't we add a little tree? Now I'm going to use the same brush. I'm not changing brushes because you don't need to if the brush will do. These chiseled edge brushes are amazing. You can do a lot of things with these. You can use one brush for everything, you know, sometimes. So I'm just going to use my burnt umber, and I'm going to pick up my burnt umber, get a chiseled edge. Chiseled edge. Okay, be careful. I'm picking up some paint I don't want. Alright, So get a chiseled edge. Chiseled, I hope. And I'm going to pick a spot for my tree. I want to make sure I get enough room for the houses. Let's say the houses go here, like between those two rocks, hills. So we have lots of room now for our tree and a pole. So let's go with our tree. Our tree will probably go up to here. The houses are probably going to go nice ways up. So think about where your houses are going to end. So your tree will probably be around that same area. So we'll just take our chiseled edge and make that there, that trunk. Doesn't have to be real wide. Okay. Make sure it's chiseled, because you'll get frustrated if you don't get those lines proper. So we're going to make some branches coming off. Just come out from that trunk. If you're having a problem with this, just go get a liner brush. Alright, because we want to make some of these so we'll know where our leaves are going to go, okay? So, good. So now we probably do need to transfer it to a liner brush so we get some nice thin branches. There we go. Now take your liner brush, get a long one if you have the longest one you have on hand, and then you can take some of these branches off. Makes it a bit easier, right? There we go. Okay. That's good. That should do it. So now we'll just put some leaves on there. We won't put any big, heavy, thick leaves. Just enough to cover those nice little branches. So I'm just going to use a small chiseled edge brush, because that's a pretty small tree. And I'm going to make a green color. Now you can put any green on your palette. I only use my primary colors in burnt umber and white, but you can use your green and your browns, right? Whatever you got there. But I'm going to make my own green. Okay, it's a nice little green. So I just got that's opened up there. It's chiseled. So I'm sorry, it's bristle. Bristle. Don't use a chisel edge. You won't be able to get that pouncy look, right? You won't be able to get those leaves. All right. So just move around there. Just going to tap on some more. Just making my green, and I'm just going to tap gently till I get some nice leaves. So use those branches that we made to guide you, all right? There we go. See, that will guide you. And you got a few little leaves here. And that should do it. You don't need a lot. It's a cute little tree, isn't it? Good. Lovely. All right, that's cute. And now we might want to put a couple little highlights on it. Not much, but a little bit of yellows. Not much, just to give it a bit of a layered look. So I'm just going to clean my brush and I'm going to go into my yellow. I'm squishing it around so I can get it to open up. And then I'm just going to tap on top of some of those I already did. So let's use our burnt umber again and get a chiseled edge. Just move like this and that will bring it to a chiseled edge. Okay, and then you're going to take that and you're going to make a little telephone pole. The telephone pole is a little higher than the tree, a little higher than the houses. If you're not sure, you could leave that till after you get your houses done. So I'm just going to add this part first. So we'll just take that down here, clean it up. So I'm going to put the houses on now, and I'll finish that pole after, but you can do these two items after you do your houses, but I just want to get them started. I want to get as much of the background done as I could. That way that'll be done, right? So, like I say, I'm trying to show you that, you know, you can do things in different orders, right? But this, to me, is a good order to do it in. Because that way you get all your background done, and all you got to worry is about your houses. And when you get them on, then you can finish off your pole, because we don't know how high we want the pole and the strings, the pole lines going to the house. So let's get started on our little houses, our little jelly bean houses. So for this part, I drew a square, okay? So I measured my square, because I don't know how big you're going to have your canvas. Mine is only like a 9 by 12. So if your canvas is 8.5 by 11, 11 by 14, I don't know what size canvas you want to use. So measure it up between these two hills. Mine came to 10 inches. And then I just wanted to come up 4 inches. So, because you go too high, you won't have enough room for your roof. So the roof is not on this yet. This is just where the houses are going to go, okay? And then I'm going to put my roof on after. So I just drew it out with pencil. If you think you're going to make a mistake, try chalk. I tried chalk, but I couldn't get it to go close to the ruler. So now what I did was I measured, I got 10 inches, so I had to make it equal, and I wanted 5 houses instead of 4, because I want to make them kind of tall and skinny. If you wanted to go with 4, then you could probably measure 8 across. Like I said, I don't have a clue what size you're using. If you wanted to go wider house, you could make 12 on the bottom, right? You make this square bigger. So decide how many. If you only want 4 houses, measure it out so you're going to get 4 houses, so you can have equal sizes. Okay, so you have a bit of measuring going on there. I measured 10, and I ended up with 5. I could have had 4 houses, a bit wider, but I wanted them to be a little skinnier and closer together, which is kind of nice. And then I'm going to put my roof on, and I'm going to angle it a little bit here like this, right? So I'll angle it a little bit so it looks like a roof. So we bring in these 2 lines here like this, all right? And then you're going to make a straight line across with your ruler. So I came in on my little roof. I had to come in. So I brought my line diagonally in, okay? And I measured an inch. It was about an inch. Like I said, my canvas is different than yours. And then I just joined the 2 lines up. Now I have a little roof there for that, okay? And we'll put our chimney and things on after that. So let's get started on doing a solid color, like an underpainting first, to get them started. So let's use a smaller flat brush this time. Let's use a chiseled edge. You're going to need a chiseled edge for this because there's a lot of windows and things there. So let's use a chiseled edge, and we'll get a black roof. You can use black paint. I'm going to make my own black with blue and burnt umber, equal amounts, and I got black and a little bit of red. That'll make my own black then. See how black that is? Now you can just use black. Alright, so we'll fill in the roof. There we go. Let's get all that done. If you have a hard time with the lines, just use tape, okay? Just put tape around your roof so that you won't come underneath. So I just put the tape on to show you that you can do it that way also, and that way you can try to keep from. Don't get too brave, because sometimes the paint can go underneath the tape. So just still be careful. That'll just help you. Alright, see? It'll help you, but don't paint up and down underneath the tape. Try to stay going across this way. so that it doesn't bleed underneath the tape. Alright. So I'm coming away from that tape so it doesn't go underneath the tape, okay? And then I'm coming like this. Get some more black. Like I said, don't go up or down because you'll end up bleeding. If it does bleed, well, you just go back with the same colors of the sky, or, you know, if you went outside, or it can be fixed. Don't panic or anything. It can be fixed. Good. I gotta be careful here. I'm gonna go back over this way. Because if we go this way, it might go underneath the tape. Right. Careful, careful, careful. Now let's see how much a mess I made. I prefer to do it without tape, but I would be sitting down if I was doing it, because standing up is hard to keep your hand steady. So if you prefer to do it without tape, sit down. I think you can get better control. And let's see what happens. Here we go. Oh, so far so good. All right, here we go. Okay, pretty scary. Oh, 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 oh. Ah, that tape sure helped, didn't it? Cool. Now we might want to add tape to these lines here. That will help us keep, because we're going to be doing different colors, right? So that will help us keep the paint from going on and mixing it with the other side. So let's try that. Now, what color do you want your houses? I'm going to go with what colors I had in my first painting, and that was kind of a dark purple. So I'm going to make it purple. Now if you got dark purple there, you can use that. I'm just going to use my blue, and I'm using a flat chiseled edge smaller brush. Okay, smaller. It's not sure exactly what the color size is, but it's smaller than the other one, so it's probably a size 4 or 3, something like that. Like I say, all brands are different sizes, so just measure it against what you need it for, okay? Just kind of judge it. That's a nice dark purple, isn't it? Nice. I want to keep it on the blue side, so I'm going to make sure I just keep adding blue, because I don't want it to be... Is that too dark? May add a little bit of white to that. A little more. A little more. Getting there. I'm getting there. It's kind of nice. Not a bad color. So paint all this here. So we'll do the windows on top of it. These are all under paintings, you can call it, or your base coat, or, you know, this is the way I like to get it started. Remember, don't go over so it won't bleed. Okay. if you need to use tape for down here, you go ahead and do that too. Alright, so we're going to go past that water because we want to go on the sidewalk part. Good. Might need to use tape for that edge there. So if you're painting, you need really straight lines. Houses and things, you need real straight lines and things. Use tape. That'll be a big help. Getting straight lines is hard unless you got some tools to help you. Now you'll see the white by that tape, so you might need to get your chisel edge and kind of tap at it to get it so that it'll, like up here, that's what I did. So as long as I didn't go under the tape, that'll help get that extra space. I think we're doing okay. Doing okay. Now when I remix my paint, sometimes the color won't be exactly the same, but that don't bother me because then I'll just mix it all in together. If it changes up a little bit, I don't mind that. Probably going to bleed that now. I'm going to get underneath that roof. You can use tape to do this. Get underneath that roof. I might have to if I can't get the line straight there. But because there's two dark colors coming together, then it might be okay. Because we're going to be putting a ledge there. There we go. Let's see if that worked. Let's reveal. Good, 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 good. Good, good, good. Now, got to do this one, this one, this one, this one. So how do we do that now? Because that's still wet. So you can either blow dry it, so you can put your tape on it, so you can paint this side, right? But you will have to have this dry. So make sure it's dry. Because I'm doing a video, I'm gonna try and do it without the tape. This should be fun. The next one I'm going to do is yellow. So I'm going to add white to my yellow because yellow is very transparent and the white will make it more opaque. Alright, so add white to your yellow to make it more opaque. And then we'll just add that. So start in the center. You might need 2 coats of yellow. We'll see, right? Add white and that should help take care of making it opaque. So I'm using chisel edge to get up against that line there. The beauty about the tape is it'll take out that line. Now because yellow is still a bit transparent, you're going to see that blue, but that's okay. We'll add white to that. We'll add white. We'll probably have to do a second coat. And I might need to use tape. More than likely, I'm going to have to use tape. As you can see, the big difference when you don't use tape, right? You see it, it's really difficult. And if I go up against that, I'm going to go into that. So I know I'm going to use tape. I'm going to let that dry. And I'm going to do that. See? Now you're getting up on the edge here. So you definitely will need tape. I'm just going to do that for now. I'll come back and fix it up. Do a second coat. this, no problem. So the next one is red. Alright, if you want red, you put them wherever you want, whatever colors you want, okay? It doesn't have to be red one there, it can be any color. I'm just kind of matching up the purple. That's a little bit dark. I don't know what colors you're seeing through my camera. When I look through the camera, it looks orange and black, but I might have to lighten this up a little bit before I decide with more blue. But blue and yellow complement each other, and red and green complement each other. So you can try to match them up with different colors. So I'm just going to use red for this one. Alright. Now don't brighten up your red with white, it'll turn pink. Use a little yellow to brighten it up. Alright. So this is definitely going to need 2 coats. This red is transparent too. So use tape. If you decide to do it the way I'm doing it, make sure you get a good chiseled edge on your brush so you can get up against that line, make it straight. So you can see it's not completely straight there, but so I may go back with some tape when I do my second coats. The next color is green. So I'm going to make my own green. You can have a light green or a dark green or any color green you want. Where are you? I lost you. I'm fussy about that green. This one here is not bad. Too much blue with my yellow, see? So you get nice green, you have one already pre-mixed, that's great. If you want to mix your own, if you got ultramarine blue, then add more yellow than blue, and that will give you a lighter green. Chiseled edge. Now, if you're looking at this video before you start to paint, you might decide not to put that blue water behind there. And that way, if you only put it on either side, then you won't have to worry about the blue coming through on the bottom here. Or you can put your houses, put your sky out, put your houses on first, and then your tree and your pole and your all the other stuff on the other side. So that won't be hard to do because you'll have your sky done, see? So there's several ways to approach a painting, whatever's comfortable for you. This will have to be fixed up a bit down there. That's okay. Don't worry. What color are we going to make our last one, I wonder? Blue or orange? Yeah, that's definitely going to need a second coat. Alright. Cute though, isn't it? Maybe orange would be nice at the end. You can use whatever colors you want. Look up some jelly bean houses, jelly bean roll, colorful houses, and just see what colors you like to mix and match together. Okay, so more yellow than red, because red, like I said, is very dominant. So I'm going to brighten it up to a nice orange. So yellow and red. There we go. That's nice. So, as you can see, having that blue behind there kind of makes it a little more, work, right? So, if you're watching before you start this painting, then maybe you can do your sky, your houses, and then a little bit of water on the side there, and your pole and your tree after. But if you ended up doing it and started the painting before you got to me saying this now, you're doing fine. That's okay. It's just a little bit extra work for us. You might say, well, why did you do it? I don't know. I guess I just wanted to show you different ways of doing paintings. Different ways to approach a painting. There we go. Now, so there we are. That's the beginning. We'll do a second coat on those now. I don't need to. I'll do my second coat. You do your second coat. You can use tape. I'm just going to do a quick second coat, and then we're going to get started on the trims and things like that. Okay. Okay, so now let's start the goodies. We are going to do the little divisions between the houses first, and then we'll add the chimneys. That seems to be the easiest part to start. So I'm just taking a small, flat, chiseled edge brush. Make sure it's nice and chiseled. Okay, make sure you take your brush and pull out and pull out. And then you get a nice chiseled edge, see? Okay, and then we'll use that to put on our separation line. All right, so we'll just put a little line here and here. Just So just touch the very chiseled edge of your brush so that you don't get anything else, only the chiseled edge. Just touch the very top of the brush, chiseled edge. And tap it on if you have to. All right, good. We can go over that again later. Really need a If you're sitting down, you'll probably have a bit of an easier time doing this. Standing up and standing to the side, like I'm doing, makes it a little more difficult. So I'm using my pinky to help me steady my finger. Okay, so we got that. You can also do that between the houses. Might want to use tape. Okay, good. So do that between every house. These are just a way of separating the houses a little. Okay. So you can also use a ruler. Get your chiseled edge still, and then you can put your ruler. I did that one just to see if it worked. So you put your ruler up against between those two houses. And the tape is really good for this too. You put tape on either side. But so many different ways you can do this. Just trying to fix my line up here on the roof. And you can start from the top or the bottom. And you touch on your chiseled edge. And pull against the ruler. And that helps you get your straight line. See? Okay. Good. So we'll put our chimney on. We'll use burnt umber. Burnt umber. Okay. So you put your chiseled edge. That's why you need chiseled edge. And you take it and you decide where you want your chimney. You can have it wherever you want. And you're going to make touch. You're going to make a square. You're going to pull over. You can make your chimney however big you want it. Okay. If your paint won't move, add a little bit of water to your brush and just tap it off so it's damp. Okay. Maybe your paint. Sometimes the paint won't move because you don't. I don't know. It's okay. So just touch and pull over. So that's your bottom part of your chimney. And then you got a smaller one up here. So I'm going to use a chiseled edge and I'm just going to make a smaller one just by moving it in a little bit. There we go. And then I'm going to make a small one on top just by touching. Okay. Alright. So you do that with all the chimneys. Now you can have whatever kind of chimney you want. But this is the easiest way. And we'll put a highlight on that to bring them out more. So let's put on another one. Okay, so burnt umber. Burnt umber. And we will make another chimney. It can be the same size or it can be bigger or whatever, you know. See how the chisel edge will give you that little edge there? Nice square, right? Gives you a nice square. And then you got one in the middle. I'm using my chiseled edge to kind of wiggle it a little bit to get it on there and then move over a little bit. But you'll get that nice edge there because of the chiseled edge of your brush. Alright, make that one in the center a little bigger. Good. That one's a little bit bigger, but that's okay. That's okay. All these old jelly bean houses got all different types and sizes of chimneys. Alright. But you can make it as close as you want to one that you already got made. Okay, that's that. And then the center. And the top. That's a cute one. Now on my picture, I got one on the edge of the house. I don't know why I did that. Anyway. If you get anything crooked, it's okay, because you want to make these houses really old. In Newfoundland, we have jelly bean houses in St. John's. And they're really cute. So yeah, you can put a chimney over here instead. Right on the edge if you like. Right on the back there. You just put up one little one on top. Just for a change. That's good, sure. There we go. Now we want to highlight these so you can bring them out a bit more. So I'm going to put yellow on my flat brush that we just used. It's a very small brush, probably size 2. But whatever size, whatever small flat brush you have, alright? So I'm going to add a bit of white to that yellow because I want to make it more opaque. I think you always have to add white to your yellow. If the yellow is too bright with yellow, just add a little bit of your burnt umber or burnt sienna. Alright. So get whatever color yellow you want. Yellow ochre is really nice. You could use that too. So you can wait for these to dry or you can leave them wet. And I'm going to go on the very edge that I had here. I'm just going to drag in a little bit of that on that edge and that edge and that edge. Okay. Now, too much paint came off my brush there. See that? So I can fix that. All I can do is put some burnt umber back. All right. So don't panic if you don't get it right at first. Just put your burnt umber back. We got to get that edge nice and bright so it will stand out. So put some yellow on, and then if you have to, you can put white over it. Just some yellow. Pull in, touch and pull in a bit, but try not to go all the way over. That way you get to keep that shadow on that edge. And then we got some more here. Touch, pull over. And on the edge here. On the edge here, okay? If you lose, like I said, if you lose, just put some burnt umber back on the other side. There we go. Now we want to get our little trim in that house there, right? So we're going to take some tape and we're going to put that on the edge here. All right, that tape there. And we are going to put some tape a little ways underneath so that we can make a nice white trim underneath that roof. So here we go. So get it as wide as you want. I'm just going to make just enough room there for white. See? That's the easiest way out of this. Now let's see if we can get our trim going on here. All right. Might need 2 coats. Okay, let's take the tape off. See the results. Not bad. Bled a little bit there. It's not to worry. You can always put some green paint there. I'm probably going to put some shadow there. You can see my house is a little bit leaning to the... This one here is nice. This one here probably should have brought out a little bit more. That's okay. So I'm just trying to think of where to put the windows, right? So I just put a bit of chalk there. But I'm not sure I want down that low. Now that's the beauty of using chalk, okay? So chalk is going to be your friend. Chalk is always your friend. So underneath the window here, let's make a decision. So I'll make that up there, there, and there, and maybe another one over here. Now you can measure them up so they'd be perfectly same size. I mean, if you're building a house, you'd have to measure everything, but I'm painting, so I don't have to be perfect, but it'd be nice to have things. There we go, that's nice. It's not bad, you know, I mean, it's not. And then we got a door, so we're going to come down a little ways, probably here, and we'll have our door, a line down for a door, a line over, and a line down. There's your door. Maybe you might want another window over here. You can make two lines, one to bottom, one to top, and that way you might be able to get a better sense of which way you want your windows and things. So we'll do this one first. Now, if you use chalk here, no sense using yellow because it's the same color, so make sure you use something dark, you know, so that you can see your chalk lines. Now, let's see what we can do here. Let's get a small flat brush, that smallest one that we got earlier, I think that might work. Sometimes you have to experiment with your brushes. Sometimes some will work perfect and others just give you a hard time. So, this one here seems okay. But I'm thinking, I don't know, I kind of like that other brush, even though it's bigger. I want to see, right? If it gives me a hard time, I'll try the other one. So keep a couple handy. So I'm just going to go with my white. And I am going to chisel edge it. Chisel. Okay, make sure it's nice and chiseled. Chisel, push, push, chisel. Okay, now, this is the hard part. So you're going to go over those chalk lines, because when the paint is dry, you can wipe that away. All right, touch. See, that chiseled edge is really, chiseled brush is really good, making these straight lines. You can also use tape, but it's a lot of taping, and then you're going to be like half the day just taping off everything. Oh, I touched it with my finger, look at that. When they dry, when they look dull, then you can put another coat on. But you got to get something started first. You can go straight down like that if you like. I'm using my finger to help me keep my hand from, you know, help keep my hand steady. But that chisel edge of your brush is going to help. You can also use, let's see. Maybe you can get an old credit card and cut it, you know, to the size that you might need to make a window or make a door, right? I don't know, let's see. Let's tap it into your paint, just touch it into your paint, and you can, a little bit wide for that, so I'd have to works pretty good. So you just get a smaller piece for the smaller parts. Just try different ways. one there is kind of, this will help give you a straighter edge too. Now I'll fix that up with the inside the door. I can just paint it over. Then I'll get my, as long as I get some straight line on the edge there, on the edge of the door. These houses doing things like this are a little tedious. But, you know, I kind of like a challenge once in a while. So let's get a smaller piece so that we can get the smaller windows. So I'm just cutting up my card. And that's the best thing to do with your credit cards. Cut them up. Cut them up and use them for painting. That way you won't be able to spend any money. Lots of times we cut up our credit cards and we just throw them in the garbage. But now you know, if you're an artist, you can use them for painting. See? So you get some use out of them. All that money that we spend on them. So this is a smaller one that fits this window. And you can turn it around, I think. Now this is, you know, just an idea, but you can certainly come up with different ideas. What you need to do is make it, cut it long and thin, okay? That way you can get a better grip on it. There we go. There we go. We're getting there. A couple little windows. I'm going to do the inside yet too. I'm just going to use my... I'm going to do another brush. Let me try something else. For the inside windows, I'm going to try a round brush. So like I say, you got to experiment with your brushes, okay? Just to see what works. So then you can take the tip of that brush and pull that line down like that. Okay, so that's kind of easier. You can have whatever kind of windows you want. I like this long one here. The older houses, they have long windows, all kinds of shapes. Because when these houses were built 100 years ago or so, there was really not many regulations. You just built your house and that was it. Now there's so many regulations, you wouldn't be able to have a windows a little crooked, and you probably wouldn't want it anyway. So I'm just touching up some of the edge here. So it's a little easier than anything else, but to get a really good straight line, you really need something with a straight edge. You know, even if you had something like this, but much smaller, you know, if you had something like this, but much smaller, you should be able to get them. Then you'd be able to do all kinds of straight edges, see? Let's see if we can do something with that in a minute. Now, I got that door there. It has a little bit of a top on it. You can use whatever decorations you want, you know what I mean? Like you can have any kind of top on your door. Good. Maybe a little step down here. Now, we'll paint the inside of that door. Whatever color you want. I have a yellow door. Now we got that one done. When we put more windows in and we get them all done, they look really nice. And we put flowers on top of them and everything, so they look cute. You can get your windows straighter than what I got there because I'm standing up and I'm moving. I can't get, you know, I should put it down and probably sit down and do it. I could do that too. Maybe I should. So as you can see, I was just touching up my windows and just straightening them up a little bit more, and you know, trying to make them a little more straighter and things, because it's a little bit hard to get them straight. But you know, if you take your time, and you should be able to get them nice and straight with some straight edges or something to help you along. You know, this would be great. See, so you can put this down and you can put in your windows that way if you want to. Just try it for a bit of fun. Alright, so these are up here. Maybe we can come across close to what they are. Alright, so let's try it. What But we gotta have a little bit of darkness going on inside there. I'll put some blue in here. Darken it up. I'm getting green because I'm going over yellow. So as long as it's a dark color, it's okay. Now you got to use your chisel edge and try and keep all that straight again. Should be fun. You can also use templates. If you have a template that likes little squares, you can buy them, you know. Squares, round circles and squares and things like that. You can get all the right sizes. That would be good. So, just did that much with windows. Now I got to put trim around them again, and then their little frames inside. I know it's a bit of work. It's a bit of work, but you know, I'm just sitting here and relaxed. Now that I'm sitting down, I'm more relaxed. Just relaxed and having a nice, relaxing couple hours painting. That's all. And I'm recording it so you can watch me, and hopefully you can learn something from it. Get something out of it, you know. A lot of people ask me, how do you paint doors? How do you paint straight lines? How do you paint houses? And I like to do more. They're very long and tedious. But, you know, if I get enough requests for these kind of things, houses, and I don't know. I'm up for anything, really. Animals. So I got a lot of landscapes done. I got a lot of trees and skies and clouds, and you know, so I like to make a few additions. But I need to hear from you guys, see? And I've had requests before for things that I didn't even get around to, because I just had so many requests, but it was mostly landscapes and things like that. I had a request for a raven. I think I did one in a Halloween, painted a raven. I also had a request I didn't get around to yet for seashells. But I also, you know, also be nice to do, I don't know, I need to know what you guys like. Because I'm doing this for you, right? I find it nice and relaxing, but it's basically I want to do things that you guys like to see, that you're trying to learn, something that would be interesting for you. I know there's other people out there doing pretty amazing paintings, you know, and you can learn from so much from YouTube artists. So many different styles, different subjects. when I was first learning, and I still am, I'd go and I'd look up YouTube videos, and I'd look up how to paint a rose. Now, I must have looked at 30, 40 videos on different artists that were painting different roses, because everybody had different styles. And I love most of them. There's some that were not something that I was interested in, but I looked at them because I could learn something, what kind of brush they were using, what colors they were using, what technique they were using. And then you've seen some of my rose videos. I just did it my way. But I did get some ideas from what kind of brush, what colors, different things like that. So everything helps. Every little thing helps. So I got that door there. I want that yellow. What color can I put with that orange? Orange and orange. I don't know, maybe a bright green. Orange got red in it, and green and orange, and green and red are complements of each other, so maybe a brighter green door. There we go. If you had the patience, you could do I've seen paintings. I haven't seen many on YouTube, but I've seen paintings in art galleries. I mean, they blow you away because of all the detail in their doors and windows and all these little details. I'd love to watch one of those artists. I like to watch one of those artists from the 15th century, the old masters. A lot of artists learn from them. Alright, so that's good. Now I want to get yellow. Make sure your brush is clean in between. Like if you're doing different colors or dark colors or whatever, just make sure your brush is nice and clean, or get a brand new brush that hasn't been used yet. So what am I doing with that door? Yellow. Alright, let's get some yellow. So let's do this door with some yellow. I might put some white again. I like to put white in my yellow. Give it an opaque look to brighten it up. Because there's a dark color underneath there, see? You almost need to paint it white first and then put your yellow on after. You can do that too, Do that with any transparent paint. Paint it white first, let it dry, and then paint over it with your color. And that will help if you're painting over a dark area. Yeah. Now, go. Let's put a little doorknob on there. I'm just going to put, make it black. Use black if you like, burnt umber, whatever. Nice dark color, okay? And then put it on the back of your brush, or you can use a toothpick if this is too big. So we'll just put a doorknob here, and a doorknob here, and a doorknob here, and a doorknob here. Just kind of using the corner of this because it's too big, but you can get a small one, and or a round brush with a very round top on it. Anything that makes something round for you, okay? This one can be over here, don't matter. So that's your doorknobs. Now, I'll put a bit of white on those to highlight them just so you can see them. And while we're waiting for that, maybe we can put a couple little curtains in the window. So let's go with a little round brush. I think a round brush would be much easier to work with because we're working with such small areas. So let's put some curtains in some windows. Maybe a yellow curtain. And you just use the corner of this window here. Just a little round like that. And a little one over here. Little curtains. Come down here. Cute little curtains, and some white with your yellow this time. Maybe kind of a different kind of yellow. You can have whatever color you want. Let's highlight the, just take the tip of your round brush and add a little bit of white on top of that little doorknob that you did, leaving some of the black so you can see it. Just dab on a little bit of white there, just dab, don't need to, just dab, there we go. Dab, dab. Now you got little doorknobs, cool. And we will, anything else need adjusting, we can do that at the very end. As you can see, it needs a bit of adjusting in lots of places, and so you got to get it started somewhere. Okay, now I know we have a lot of straightening up to do, but I'm not worried about that right now. What I want to do is I just want to get some main parts in, and then we can adjust things at the end, okay? So, as messy as it looks right now, it will get prettier. So I'm just going to put, I'm using a round brush, you can use a flat brush if you like. So, it's just a little round brush, and I'm going to put in, underneath this windowsill, I'm going to make a little line, and maybe a little, you can make a round underneath here, or whatever shape you want, a little round here, and then fill it in. That will be your planter under the window. So you got one here. And while you're still using the brown, you might as well do the rest of them, okay? So wherever you're going to put flowers, go underneath the windowsill and make them whatever way you want. It can be round, square, small, big. Try to make two of them the same. A little bit of roundness down here. And let's see, where else do you want one? Maybe over here. So make a line underneath here. Burnt umber. And under here. And then make your shape. Whatever shape you want it. Probably got planters under your windowsills also, and you can put the shape in that you have. One here. And where else? Let's see. Maybe there's one here. Okay. Maybe these two have some. Be cute down here, won't it? And another one. All right, so that's that one, and I don't want to overdo it. Maybe there's one down here. Okay, so that's cute. Now, make some green paint, or get green, dark green, okay? So get dark green paint, and then you're going to tap on a place to sit your flowers. So these are the leaves that the plants are, and then this will give you an idea which way you want your flowers. So they're probably hanging out over, right? Coming up around the window a little bit. Okay, so get your green first. Tap, tap, tap. A little brown brush. There we go. A synthetic brush. Okay, so maybe not really hanging down. You know, it could be hanging down into the pot. Flowers everywhere. Tap, tap, tap. Oh, you don't want to go over the door. When you open the door, you'll smash up your flowers. These are really high up into the window, aren't they? It's okay. It's probably summertime, so it's starting to bloom really nice. Hard to see the green there, but make sure your green's nice and dark so you can see it against the flowers. Will stand out more if your green is really dark. All right. Good. Now you just pick up some different colors. You can use the same brush, little round brush if you like, and start tapping on some colors. Now you can wait for that to dry so that it won't mix in with the green. So I'm just going to dab these little dots of flowers on top of that green. And I'm going to leave some room for different colors, okay? So I'm just going to use my yellows first, and then we'll go back with other colors. Good, and then you go back and get some red. You wipe off your brush if you like. Red in between those yellows. It's okay if you end up on your yellows. They'll mix together, but you don't want to mush. You want to be separated so that you can see that it looks like flowers. You can have all yellow, all red, whatever you want. It's up to you. I'm going to add a little bit of white just to brighten them up a bit. Put that on top of what I did, or just around them, just so you can see them better. Make sure you don't cover up all your color though. You want to be able to see yellows. Now when they dry, you can add more yellows and reds back in, because like I say, when it dries dull and dark, so it won't stand out as much, so you'll have to add color back in again. There we go. Now, probably add a little bit of reds or something in there because it looks like it needs a bit of work. Yellow, I should say, because that's if red against red, you won't see them. That don't make sense. Yellow. Some more yellow. I'm picking up quite a bit of paint on my end of my brush. Look, because when I tap lightly, and that way you won't get a big blob. So just tap lightly, just so that a bit of paint comes off your brush. See? See? So you can go back several times, right? Good. So we need to touch up these windows here. They look pretty nasty. If they look too bad, you can always put flowers on them. I think, yeah, I don't want to overpower too much flowers. I kind of try to spread them out a little bit. And then we can put like maybe we can put like, put your burnt umber on your brush, and flat brush or round, and put a little step down here. Just a little step. Just straight line across, that's all. It's a step. A step in the right direction. That white that we put on earlier, that's the top, that can stay. Good. All these little tiny things really add to your painting. Yeah, a step in the right direction. Tiny bit of highlight on top of those, not much, just kind of drag a little bit of yellowish color across, just so that it looks like it has a bit of a top on there. Let's see. Paint is still wet, see, so you're better off letting your paint dry first. And need to adjust these up here. Just a little trim on the door there. And we are going to add a few more planters at the bottom, so I have some flowers down here. So why don't we put one here, a little planter. So we'll just make a little planter here and here, and maybe one here. And then you make your green. Tap on some leaves and things for your flowers. There we go, just tap on some little bits of green. Then you can add your flowers. So you don't want it, you want it to have, you know, kind of shape there for your flowers, see? Good. And you do the same thing, you just add your yellows and reds, whatever colors you want to put in there. Just tap on little dots of color for flowers. some red. I wipe my brush every time I go for a different color. I don't dip it in water or anything. I just wipe my brush with a piece of tissue. Some white just to brighten it up. Okay, so flowers everywhere, isn't that pretty? And maybe we'll put some grass in there. So I'm just going to use a small flat brush. Small flat brush. And I'm going to make my green. Make some grass. So I'm just going to tap on, so we need some grass here. So just going to tap on the chiseled edge and pull up some grass. Tap on your grass and pull up. Maybe there's some grass. Bits of grass here. I'm going to dip into green and yellow, and that way you'll get your highlights, everything all into one. Bit of grass there. Where else? There we go. More yellow and green because the house is green. Tap. Get some grass over here. Yep, we just trying to make it cleaner looking. A bit better. And that's just the sidewalk. That's just the street, and so I will clean up my windows. What we'll do is finish that little pole over there. We'll do our pole. Get a small flat brush. Small flat, and then put your burnt umber on there. Burnt umber. So just pull through your burnt umber. Where are you? I can't find you. Oh, there you are. And just take your pole, make it more square on the top here. And then you're going to pull out that, just pull over, just lay your brush down flat, touch, and pull over. That'll be the easiest way to do that. Make sure you get enough paint on your brush. And then add a little bit of white highlight to it. Just on the top here, just to show that it makes it stand out more. So, and then we're going to do the lines. So you need probably a liner brush would be easier to do this, to bring the lines to the house. So just run through your burnt umber. right, burnt umber, and just take a line and go to the house. Good. When you get a thinner line in that, that'll be much better. My brush was just a little bit too thick. Okay. And then another one. Maybe it's coming up to meet it. There we go. There we go. Add a little bit of yellow on top. Just for a highlight, that's all. Now those lines can be much thinner than that. All right. Good. So just play around with your windows till you get them straight the way you want them, straight as you want them. And you put little curtains in the windows. And so when you get everything done that you want to get done, you know, so I'm not going to put curtains in every window, but curtains are cute. So get your windows as straight as you can, using whatever method, technique you can find that will help you do a good job. A small flat brush or a small round brush, I would suggest a flat. And put some shadows underneath your window sills there. That'll give them a little bit of depth. Alright, so let's do that. And then that will help make your windows look. So just make a little bit of a purplish color. Dark purple. Just a bit of blue and red. Almost black. Alright. Maybe even a bit of burnt umber just to darken up way really dark. Okay. And on your flat chiseled edge brush. And then you're going to go underneath the windowsill here. Give it some depth. maybe underneath the windows here, just to give it a little bit of depth. Yeah, I pushed a little bit too hard there. I can fix that. Reload your brush as many times as you think you need to. Okay, see how that gives it a little more depth? You could even bring a little bit of shadow down here, this edge here. It's on the opposite side of the door now, I would think. Good. I came over on my white. That's okay, I can fix that, but I just wanted to show you where to put shadows. So that gives it a little more depth, see? Right, clean off your brush so we can smooth that out a little bit better. Smooth it out. Just going to rub over what I just did and just kind of smooth it out a little bit. It's okay, I don't mind it going over the door. But see how it gives that depth to the door? It's just not a flat color there. It's right. So I'm just going over with a damp brush just to smooth out those lines I put in there. And then if you want to, because I find the more layers of paint you put on something, the better it looks. Leave those alone, I think they're okay. So I might take some green, a lighter green, it's a green with a bit of yellow, and just give it a little touch of, can't see it very much there now, a little bit of yellow. Kind of brighten up that center a little bit. There's a bit of green here, so we can use that. Because we have the shadows in there, we can brighten up the center of that green there. Right now we got three values of color there. And you know that 3 values of color gives it more depth and more interest. Then we got the blue one. So I'm going to add a bit of white to my blue to brighten up a little bit. And add that in the center here. Here. A little more white. It's your preference, right? I'm just trying to give you some ideas. And some white on that yellow. Yellow is really transparent. It's hard to get a good yellow. There we go. I'm adding a bit of yellow there now, a bit of white. I've brightened it up a little bit more. And then the red. I'm just going to add a bit of red. I'm not going to add white to the pink, to the red, because it'll turn pink. I'm just going to put that in the center there like that, scrub it around. Just that little extra touch. That's better. So anything you want to do, I mean, there's lots of things. With those white lines, tape is your best bet, or a credit card. All right, and these lines here are too thick. So, just going to do a little bit of highlighting there on that. So get your flat brush. Small flat brush is good. Yeah. And then you're going to just add a little bit of your burnt umber and a little bit of yellow. Make a little bit of a highlight for your tree. Use your chisel edge, put on a little bit of highlight there. You can add a little more yellow, even a little bit of white, because we want it to stand out a little bit. We want to be able to see it. There we go. I'm just sort of skipping over, because I don't want to lose my brown too, right? I'm just putting that on there. And maybe a little bit on that. I'm going to go on the right side of this, because maybe the sun is shining in. A little bit on there. Okay. Just a little bit. I like putting 3 values on each item that I do, just so it gives it more interest. It makes it a little more 3D. So my sky color is almost white, so I'm going to thin those lines out a little bit. I just want to show you that you can make corrections with using your background. Okay. By using your background, you can clean up anything that you think needs to be cleaned up. As long as you can get as close to that background color as you can. So that's better, right? For me, you probably made your lines really thin in the first place anyway. So I'm just trying to show you. Let's see. Just fill in those spots that I lost. There we go. Great. So there it is. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on how to paint jelly bean houses. The windows are the hardest, because you have to find a way to get those window ledges straight. And you can use a credit card method or a brush, chisel edge brush, or you can draw it on with a white marker, whatever works for you. Okay, so that's pretty cute, little jelly bean houses. See, in the shadows and the grass, and that's just a road in front. You can do whatever you want with that. You can put a bicycle there, somebody walking down the street, anything at all. Just use your imagination. I hope this helped, and let me know in the comments if you have any questions about any other techniques we've used to do jelly bean houses. There we go. Alright, so don't forget to like and subscribe, and then I'll be able to get some more paintings done for you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye from Allison Prior. Have a great day.